Hello everybody, welcome back to Baking Bakers. It's been a while since I've been in one. We had a busy fall with harvest and haven't had a lot of chance, but we are back in the kitchen today. We got a big old chunk of meat. We're gonna cook this up. So this is a 10-pound brisket. And we're gonna make a brisket tonight. So starting it tonight, it is about 7:30 p.m. right now. This is for lunch or late lunch dinner tomorrow. Happens to be Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I know it's not a turkey. We're doing turkey too, but we wanted something else, and so I said, I'm gonna cook a brisket. So we're gonna go ahead and get this one out. We got a bunch of trimming to do, and then we're going to do some injection of some broth and a little bit of seasoning, a lot of seasoning, and then we're going to take it out, put it on the pellet grill, the smoker, and let it cook all night long. All right, so we're going to get our brisket opened up here. This is, like I said, it's a 10-pound brisket. I got this from a local farm meat store over in Eden, Ohio, Black Label Farms, and I think it's going to be a pretty good one. So we're going to go ahead and cut our bag open here so we can get it out. It's a little bit folded, so we'll see what it looks like once we get it out of here. I did go ahead and throw some gloves on just to kind of keep my hands a little drier, protected here. Okay. So a brisket has two parts to it. We have what we call the flat, which is this side, and then as we flip it over on this end here, we'll have what we call the point, and the point generally has a lot more marbling and fat running through it. It's a little bit tender, more flavorful meat, but the brisket flat is also really good as well. You can definitely see all the fibers running across here, so we want to make sure we cut this way when we go to cut that. We're going to go ahead and trim all of this excess fat off on the flat side. We're going to trim a little bit more off on the point, not a lot. They get this trimmed up pretty good, so we'll take a little bit off on the thin end here and a little of this thick stuff, which I think they call the decal, in there, and just trim it up a little bit before we get our seasoning on it. All right, we're going to give you a kind of a close-up here as we trim this. So we're going to start on the flat side here. Not a lot of fat left on this. They did a really good job trimming this one up at the butcher shop. Just a little bit more than what I would like to be on here. The fat on the outside of the brisket really isn't going to, I mean, it'll render down, but it's going to run off. It won't get into the meat tissue very much. It's not going to help this keep it juicy. That's the fat that's running through the meat that we want to do that. So any of this excess on the outside we're going to take off so that we can get our rub right onto the meat itself. If you wanted to, you can save all this fat and render it down. You can make beef tallow out of it, or you could put it into a burger grind. I'm probably not going to do any of that with it. All right, now over on this end, I got a little bit more than I like. We don't have to get it all. Some of this right through here, I don't know how well you can see that, but that's the fat layer that's separating the flat from the point meat on the backside. So we definitely aren't going to dig all of that out. It kind of runs all the way through this meat. So just cutting off the big chunks on the surface. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Go ahead and flip this back over. We got a lot of fat over here, way more than what we need. On the flat end of this, we want to leave about 1/4 of an inch, which is really about what we've got over here. But on this side, we've got more than that. And then we're going to clean this side up a little more. I don't think this is too bad. Okay, I think, problem is I'll just keep sitting here and picking at it all night, but I think that is pretty good. So let me clean this up a little bit. We'll come back and start our injection up. Okay, we've got a pistol grip injector here. I'm just going to stick that needle in, pull up on the plunger, and we're going to take this and we're just going to start on one end, poke this in, poke it around a little bit, and give it a couple of clicks. And kind of work in a grid pattern all the way across this meat. We'll end up doing both sides. Ooh. You can see and feel this meat puff up when you put that juice into it. We'll use as much as it takes. One side done, we're going to just rub some of that excess moisture around. We're going to use that as our binder for our rub. Flip this over. We'll do this side. Pour some more here. Fat was plugging up my needle a little bit. That's good enough. All right, next up here we are going to use our seasoning. I have this from Cattleman's Grill. It is their Lone Star brisket rub. It is salt, pepper, garlic, a few other herbs, spices, stuff in there. We're gonna season her up real heavy. I'm starting on the flat side of this because we want the point to be on the top, the fat cap side to be up when we put it on the pellet smoker. So we'll start on this side, make sure we get all the edges. Really heavy, thick piece of meat. It can handle a lot of seasoning. We'll get this side coated good and we'll let that sit for just a couple of minutes until it starts to adhere and absorb into the meat, and we'll flip it over and do the other side. Okay, can we see how that rub has started to look wet on top? It's really adhering into that meat. That's how we know it's ready to be flipped over, and now we can coat the other side. Again, make sure we get all of these edges much flavor into it as we can get. Okay, we'll let that sit and then set up, and then we're ready to go throw it on the smoker. We are out here in the seed warehouse where we're running our Yoder Smokers YS 640 pellet grill. And we're going to run in here because it is cold and windy out tonight. We're going to throw this brisket right here on the top shelf it is going to cook there all night long without us touching or looking at it. I just want to spin this around. I want the point end that's thicker to be closer to the chimney, because the heat gets a little more concentrated over there. So that's it. 250 degrees. Don't touch it. Well, okay, I lied. All right, we are going to touch it again. I'm going to go ahead and run our probe thermometer in so that we can monitor it without having to open it up. So, get this untangled here. Come on. Okay, this one I'm just going to lay on the rack right behind it. It's going to monitor our temperature inside the smoker. And will alert me if it gets too hot or too cold. And this other one, we're going to run through there. We're going to stick this kind of right in the middle of the thickest part. About like that. And get the other side plugged in. Okay, now we're going to close that. And not open it until the morning. So we've got our Tapiq thermometer set up here. So our internal on our brisket is 53 degrees. Chamber's at 223. I've set some alarms and limits on that. Basically, we want to let this go. When we get to, say, 175, 180 degrees, somewhere in there in the brisket, which should be in the morning, we're going to take that off, and we're going to wrap it in some butcher's paper, put a little more of that broth in there, and let it finish cooking wrapped up. But right now, we're setting the bark, just letting it go, and let it ride at 250 degrees, which 250 degrees set here won't probably be 250 degrees at our probe thermometer there, 226. That's about right, exactly where we want it to be. All right, well, good morning again. It's been overnight. Our brisket has been on for about 12 hours now, 11 and a half hours. Our temperature probe is, well, she's up to over 200 degrees, so let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's good. That's what we're hoping to see. It might be done. We might not need to, well, we're going to wrap it regardless, but we might need to take it off. So we're going to use our temperature probe here, and we want it to be very smooth with little to no resistance. That's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, we are going to wrap this up. So I have some butcher paper here. I'm going to get some of this out. I'm going to lay a couple of sheets out on our tray here. we're just gonna leave that there for a little bit. I'm gonna get a cooler, we're gonna get some towels, and we're gonna take this off and throw it into a cooler and wrap it up and let it set for a while, 5 or 6 hours, until we're ready to eat. Okay, it is almost time to eat here, and we're gonna get our brisket out and get it sliced up. I'm out here in the garage because, well, it's a big open workspace and it's quiet. Okay, it has been, how long has it been? About 5 hours since we took this off. We're gonna make a mess here, I'm sure. That's okay. Okay, it looks fantastic. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead and just cut this in half here. Cut super easy. Nice. See lots of juice in there. Absolutely beautiful. See if we can get some slices. I'm trying to make sure we're cutting against the grain. You want to slap the dog or that? Maybe this stuff out. Okay. Slicing really nice. Beautifully cooked. You know what we just saw? There. Spin this around, we'll do the other side. This side's got some of the point meat on top. It might separate a little bit more. That's okay. Oh, it got a little thick on me. Because I'm no cook, I'll take a little of that. Oh yeah. The flavor is fantastic, super tender. Not bad. Take one of these pieces and I'm just gonna cut a little bit off. Excellent. Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this brisket recipe. This is going to be delicious. nice little alternative from the turkey, in addition to the turkey. But you can make this anytime. This is just great on the smoker. Usually make them in the summer a little bit more and stuff. So hopefully you'll be seeing me a little bit more here on the Baking Bakers YouTube channel. I appreciate you guys watching, subscribing, liking the video, and we will see you next time. Have a great week.